going tomorrow?
Gonna go see our friends in Denver.
We love those friends in Denver.
Yes.
Yes. I hear I might not see you for Salt Lake City, and now I am a sad panda.
Probably going forward, you'll probably see more of Josh than you will of me.
Which is making me a sad panda, and I'm
no, I know. I just
that we get
like
to today.
They like what he brings, and I like what he brings. As far as like the customers, they can really relate to him a lot more. I just can't continue to do both of us, and so I told Nathan, hey, listen, like it's still my account, and I'll deal with the account and all the high level stuff, but I don't know if I can go to every single one of these things if they want. He wants Josh to continue to do like the lunch and learns, and so Josh is committed to doing those lunch and learns on inclusivity and doing the Josh thing, which really is great, but it has nothing to do with XR.
No, there's multiple sides to working in this industry, right?
Yeah.
And someone still needs to maintain the account, and then someone has to do the other stuff.
Like I was the only person to bring in two people anyways, and so it is a one person kind of thing. And so Josh asked to do Salt Lake City because he's got people there. He's got his peeps there.
He's got peeps.
Yeah, and so he's definitely doing that one. I think I'll do Chicago just because I got peeps there.
You got peeps there?
So you'll see me in Chicago.
I am excited about Chicago. I haven't been since I was a kid.
And then where's the other?
There's a Seattle one? Question mark?
Oh, okay.
I think. I don't know. I don't have all my stuff up in front of me. And life was lifing today.
Life was lifing?
Life was lifing. Was life lifing for you today? When we pack a whole Monday into a Tuesday at the same time?
After a holiday. And by the way, I took off Friday, so.
Ooh, that was probably a smart call. You got like a whole 4 days.
I had a nice 4-day, yeah.
Aw, what'd you guys do?
A little bit of nothing, a lot of fishing, and a little barbecue yesterday. And
Did you cook?
Got some sun.
Yeah, you look glowy in that throne today, Rob.
In the throne, okay. Save that for when we're really on.
Yeah, well, I think the lag is done, so we can start the official thing and then do the tangents and the chit-chatting if you're ready.
Yeah,
here we go, people. It's gonna be official in a minute.
Today is a 2 coffee day, so.
I only got my 1 coffee in, but somehow we're still vibing. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this little love letter that I make for the industry because maybe I'm stubborn, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I will inspire somebody, but we call it Tuesdays with Tori. And this is super, super fun because Rob was actually, what do I want to call you? An early adopter, an early supporter. Last time I had Rob on was in 2024. And I know it's only 2026, but like a lot has happened in 2 years. We're also super blessed that he's here because he's definitely somebody who's not only is he great fun and he's fun to catch up with, but he's someone who's been, even just from a product development side, you've seen a lot of cycles and different trends and why businesses are making the decisions that they're making in some of the superpowers of the industry. So if you're new here, I am Tori. I'm the sales director of Paradise, which means you're likely buying condoms from me. Hello. And I am your resident condom charmer. I made myself that name because it amuses me, right? But I've also turned into your RGB LED ringleader because why not? We've opened up the branch of Paradise Pleasure Products, which are these happy little LED guys. I have them all over my desk because don't you love it when meetings run longer than expected and your stuff is still all over the place? Okay, so welcome back to all the things. I started talking into the void, right? The internet, the ethers, and somehow people started talking back. And I have fabulous people like Rob here. And oh, look, Drea's here. Whee! Hi, Drea. Yes, because Drea and I are both in North Carolina. The storms have been crazy. The storms have been crazy all weekend, but yeah, it started downpouring like right now. It almost kind of looks like sleet. That's crazy. And Erica, hey babes, happy Tuesday, Tori, and hello, Rob. I love it. So the show exists because after so many years of doing whatever I've been doing, I realized there was a lot of conversations that I wanted to have, and people just weren't talking about what I wanted to talk about. So I got a little pedestal here, and everybody's been talking back. So celebrate the fact that I can rub my friends. into my little projects. So today's going to rock because we've had a lot of conversations about products and about sales. But we haven't had a chance to talk too much about the human side of the industry, what's actually working at a retail level. I'll say it. We'll talk about the fucking burnout and all this product development chaos that I think gets in there, right? Because we got to watch trends, we got to watch technology, but sometimes it gets hard to understand the communication in you know, when people are trying to say something, but it's not like computing the same way. But first, my condom joke of the day, or I guess of the week. You will love it, Rob. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Why did the product developer break up with the novelty toy?
Anyone?
Because there was no long-term buzz. Okay, I'm kind of sorry for that one. It was really bad. That was real bad.
I need my sound effects. I don't know if I brought my sound effects with me today.
Ooh, I think there are sound effects in here. If I knew how to use all my gadgets. Yes, but do I see? I don't see a drum roll. I see a drum roll, but not a whatever you call it. We got this.
Hey, there you go. Perfect.
Something. We'll go with it. Okay. So welcome back, everybody. We're gonna welcome the Rob, who was here in 2024. Oh,
see, I was sorry. The fail came late. Sorry.
No, that's so funny. I just didn't know. I was like, oh, do you have the buttons too? Because that's
I hit it a long time ago. There must be a delay on my sound effects.
Well, it could be me too, because as mentioned, it is raining. And when it rains or a cloud rolls by, or I don't know, someone logs into their Netflix here in the Lake Norman area, things will do. Things will do.
Things get a little buggy.
Things get a little buggy. I guess we can just enjoy it later. Isn't that like, yay, we're live. Fun things might happen. You can't fake this ridiculousness. Okay, so let's talk you, Rob. Right? He's a longtime industry veteran, if that's the correct word anymore. I'll just say, you know, OG.
Making me feel old, yeah.
Well, so I was like, I'm not sure if we say veteran yet. That seems to be the term when other people are telling me about other people. So I will use it, but also I'll just say OG. He's an OG. And I'll let him share kind of how he got here story and all those fun things. But just know that, you know, put your listening ears on if you're somebody who wants to talk about not just sell through and product development and how business has evolved, but was there when businesses evolved. And Rob works for the heavy hitters of the industry, if you will. Because the industry has changed, as I was saying, even since just 2024, we'll talk about the fun viewpoints and the filters that Rob has here, and we're gonna make it fun. Sorry, I'm trying to rearrange my desk. It's bugging me.
No, sounds like a plan.
Right. Well, some sort of plan. Rob, for anyone who may not know your background, right? Tell us a little about your journey through the industry and then how you got here.
Well, first off, thank you for the wonderful intro. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Rob Phaneuf. I am the Director of Sales and Marketing at XR Brands. And unfortunately, like Tori said, I've been in this industry way too long. Long enough so that you guys can call me.
Not unfortunately.
Long enough so that you guys can call me an industry veteran. So
I think that makes you very special, though, right?
For those, I'm pretty much a familiar face for most people. If I don't know you, you've probably seen me around at a show or at your store at some point in my career. So I'm broadcasting live from beautiful Huntington Beach, California, aka Surf City, USA. Woo woo.
Surf City, here we come.
Unlike North Kakalaka over there with the storms, today's a beautiful 75 degrees.
No June gloom over there.
No June gloom, and do not adjust your screens. So I got a little too much sun this weekend. Memorial Day, enjoying on the boat.
He's glowing.
Yeah,
so excited to be here, guys, to talk to you.
Do I look extra small in this big throne of mine that I'm sitting in? Our dom throne behind me, or no?
No, I think it's pretty great because even even the big people are supposed to look tiny in the big thrones, right? That's why they have them. It's supposed to be intimidating. It's more about the throne, right? The background is the armor.
I wasn't trying to intimidate anybody. I wasn't trying to. Just wanted to give you guys a little feeling of.
No, it's
of
okay. I think the audience likes it.
Brand showroom. Yeah, we got a lot of.
Like, they like it.
Normally, I would have Josh, tied up on the St. Andrew's cross behind us. Normally, but he's in Oklahoma, so I couldn't get any volunteers from the office to want to volunteer to sit there on the cross for this.
I probably picked the wrong Tuesday since we're all catching up on Monday.
You did.
Otherwise, maybe we could have gotten somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you again for the reminder this morning. Tori texted me on my way into the office this morning. Hey, Tuesdays with Tori's. We're going to be talking today, so I'm ready to rock. So,
thank you. Well, mostly it's been a Monday jammed into a Tuesday. I got overbooked, and it was just a meeting you had to take, right? And it went a little long because we're business people. We still got to do the stuff. We still got to work our jobs, right?
Yeah. So how did I get in the industry? It's a funny story. If I would have known this, I probably would have prepared a little bit better during college and stuff. I would have probably had an engineering degree. If I would have known, I would have gotten into product development and
so much
and
product
sales,
dev, right?
And so my first job out of college, I was selling auto body parts in Cleveland, Ohio, for an independent auto body manufacturer. And there was basically two big companies at the time. It was Coke and Pepsi of the auto body industry, and I was doing cold call sales. Basically walking with my little toolbox into a body shop, and I'd be like, "Hey, do you want to? Do you want to buy? Yeah, hey, do you want to buy auto body parts?
Hey, and Rob, you need some parts? Yeah,
yeah, auto body parts. So before I was selling auto body parts, now I'm selling real body parts. So it's funny; it comes full circle. I went to a 2-week sales boot camp in Cleveland, Ohio, and I tell everybody that asks the story. I think I learned more in that 2-week boot camp than I have probably, in my entire college before 5 years that I was in California, Santa Barbara.
Was it like a Friedman or a Six Sigma, anything?
I don't even know what it was. I was the youngest guy there. It was like Mary Kay, basically, these older dudes, all from the South and from the East Coast. And they were into NASCAR and everything that I wasn't into, and just all into this car scene. And I was the youngest guy there. And I was just soaking it all up. But the sales techniques I've learned, and I always approach product development just from a little different perspective. Everything we do is communication. Everything we do, is sales. And I think that whole framework that they taught me at the sales boot camp, it's kind of framed my path in the adult industry. So after I did that job for about a year, I was selling auto body parts. I had my own route, and I was my own boss, and I was 22 years old, and I had a lot of opportunities, a great territory. I could have probably retired already if I would have stayed in it. But long story short, I didn't do that. I got involved in the adult industry. A buddy of mine was working at Metro Video, my best friend, and they had an opening for an art director. And I had some art background, but never anything formal or anything graphic like that. And so I started doing product packaging and doing photo shoots and directing photo shoots and stuff like that. That led to me working for a graphics company who at the time was dealing with all of the adult industry, and their main big client was Pipe Dream Products. And at the time, Pipe Dream didn't have an art department. They were farming all their work out to this independent place, and I befriended the owner, and the two of us got along well. And next thing you know, we opened up our own creative department and started doing our own product development and bringing everything in-house. So at the time, most companies back then in early 2000s, everybody was just basically buying stuff off the rack from China. We were all basically fishing out of the same pond, as they say. There were a few main factories that everybody was using, and we would all do our buying trips at the same time. The big companies, we would all go over there at the same time. And what really differentiated the stuff that we were doing individually or ourselves was basically, investing in our own molds, investing in our own designs. And that for a lot of new companies that are starting out, it's just not a reality. It's not really
It's
an
an investment for something you don't necessarily have proof of concept on yet.
Yeah, and the problem with China, as you know, the wild, wild west, as you're seeing with the illumination line.
Yep.
The minute you can invest in all the molds, you can invest in all of that, and come out with something, and then before you're even getting a prototype, it's already being knocked off by somebody over there. And so a lot of these factories, are operating out of little garages and little warehouses in industrial zones in China, and so anybody can open a factory.
That was all the industry was allowed, though, too.
Yeah,
right?
like back in the days, you buy an injection mold machine, and in China, like typewriters were going for over here. It's completely different, the manufacturing, the way it is over there. Like the way we have clerical office workers who know programs like Word or Excel, they all know CAD programs, and they're all engineers sitting in these factories coming up with designs. So I think back in those days, everybody was just buying stuff off the rack. We would change colors. We would maybe put a logo on things. Things really got interesting when companies just started investing in the molds and then started investing in the designs. And unfortunately, like I said, there is no protection when you do that, even when you have patents, because China's China, and it is the wild, wild west, and there are no rules. And I mean, for years we would go to the shows in Shanghai, and we'd go to the shows in Hong Kong, and we'd see all these factories. Like they would use copy right off our website, and we almost want to get in fights with these guys. Like you guys can't just take stuff like that and just use it. And so I don't even know where I went with this story, but I told you we're going to get on a lot of tangents.
This is a tangent-friendly live stream, right? Get on in there, audience.
Platform.
Yes, tangent-friendly platform, and we encourage audience to have a tangent as well. So welcome.
So yeah, I mean, that's how I got in this. After the Metro, I was working for this art company, met the owner of Pipe Dream. I was at Pipe Dream for 21 years. Out of those 21 years, probably I'd say the first 15 of them were spent in creative and product development. And then naturally I just got into sales, because who better to sell it than somebody who
knew everything about why you made that decision and why this was working and that doesn't, because you had the experience.
I think kind of that's how I've always dealt with sales, and I've always approached it, even when I do presentations these days. And a lot of you have seen the presentations. Stories are big. Anybody can sit up there and tell the features and functions and the benefits of an item, and pretty much all these items are the same. And so I think the key to product development, the key to really successful product development, is that marketing side of it. Because without that marketing arm, you can have the coolest product, you can have the most innovative product, the most unique, or you can have just the same average product that everybody else has. And if you can sell the sizzle, not the steak, then you can take just an average product. So I think the way I've always done it, at least for the 25 years that I've been in the industry, it's always been product based. But at the end of the day, it's just I'm really a marketing guy, a salesman.
You're a marketer stuck in a salesperson body.
There you go. That's what I was trying to say. You said it better than I can. So
no, I
at least,
not to make it about.
At least that's the way I've always approached it. And so now at XR, it's great. We have a sales team of probably seven, 8 people. I have 2 brand ambassadors.
One of the best sales teams, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. And so everybody can do their thing. And my job is just to help each one of them grow their business and grow their accounts. And yeah, I'm very much involved with our product development. Our vice president, Gerardo, he's hands-on. He's in charge of all the creative and all the product development. But all of the product development
with him in Spain, actually.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, good. We're working on some collabs.
And Rebecca says hi.
Hey, Rebecca. I'm gonna get her on here someday.
Yeah, she's much more interesting than me.
Oh no, you're very interesting.
She's a good story. But yeah, she had dinner with I believe Chris and his wife in Spain. So
Steph, yeah, super
yeah,
fun.
that was nice. What was I saying?
Here, I'll bring it back. I'll segue a little bit. I'll get us on some sort of
No,
track. You were
yeah,
mentioning right about storytelling, and I also find that to be a successful way to sell something because perhaps I am also a marketer stuck in a salesperson's body.
I think we all are. I think we all are, right? I mean, I think it's what separates the reps that are successful. I think it separates the companies, being able to tell a story, being able to tell those brands. I'm huge on branding. You know,
I think it's human. I think it's
if
more
I had,
more human connection, right? Because it's I'm not a true historian, but every piece of history had some sort of storytelling attached to it.
yeah,
Right, like stories were always carried down at the hearth or the campfire, right? So it's almost like I don't know, biologically easier to sell with a story.
yeah. And at the end of the day, I think we're all consumers first and foremost. I enjoy like I'm a consumer like in every aspect. I just buy shit for no reason. Too much of it, right?
I think a lot of
Like,
Americans have been like
yeah,
we've been spoon fed to consume because we don't necessarily
that's it.
have right to repair either. So
Yeah,
it's by the time you would fix it or find someone to fix it, it's not worth it. Let's go buy another one on Amazon from China.
yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of my story in a nutshell. How I got involved in the industry. I never, like I said, when I was on the video side of it, I was doing a lot of creative stuff with the video production side of it, and then now in the novelty industry, I've pretty much done everything. I wear a lot of hats. People always ask like, "Hey, Rob, what's your role? What's your title?" But pretty much I have done most of just about everything in this industry except actually working in a retail store. I always tell people all the answers are in the stores, and you guys know that. There's so many of these people that sit behind desks all days and just don't get out there in stores and make all these decisions. Yeah, the answers are in the stores. It's the one thing that I've never actually worked in the store for full time for a job. So I would like to do that. Every time I do trainings and stuff like that, I always hang out there for a couple extra hours. I always ask them to let me work the cash register, let me ring up a few customers. Like when I do ladies' nights and stuff like that, I love that because I get to sell for like 2 hours and talk
No,
to
it
people.
is fun. I miss that
Yeah,
sometimes now that I'm mostly remote, where it's like, oh,
yeah,
I miss that live in-person feedback where you
yeah.
feel the sizzle because you just like
Well,
made someone happy.
a, a lot of people went the other route, right? Started in retail and then worked there. Now work for a manufacturer, for a distributor, or something like that. Uh, I have the other envy. I have retail envy.
Well, it sounds like a reason for me to open a store someday and make you work in it.
Wow, there you
Add
go.
that to the dream list. Add that to the dream list. Okay, so back
We
in
we talked
2024.
we talked about that last time. I thought we
I
talked
know,
about that
I
in
know.
Tampa.
I need to, or I really want a store slash like and bookstore, right? Kind of like what Dee Bertino's doing up in Jersey. She's got the fantasy
Oh,
gifts and then the romanticy
the
store,
fancy gifts
and
and the romantic right
they
there.
cross promote each other.
Yes,
Like a coupon here gets a coupon there. I
that's
think it's
awesome.
brilliant. She needs a franchise to me.
Read your romantic novels, then go buy next door and go buy your Creature Cox
Right, because it's all about, or the cuties. It's all about, right. You have to
or the
finger
Creature
my
Cuties.
brain first.
Look at you,
So
Tori.
you gotta
You're
do
you're
that.
better than I am.
Oh yeah,
Thanks for the
cuties.
plug. Thanks for the plug.
I'm thinking of collaboration already, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so last time I had you on the show, it was very interesting, but we spent a lot of time talking about the intimacy and the emotional connection that goes behind what we're selling. Um,
Sure.
what do you think is different about the industry compared to even just a few years ago? Right, the story's still important, but like it also feels like the story is getting lower in the
Yeah.
priority list of tasks we need to do.
Yeah, I think like you said, I mean, some of the things like trend fatigue. I think that's a big. I think as as retailers, you know, they're basically seeing what's out there, right? What's viral, what goes viral. They're more reactive to with the trends. As manufacturers, it's a little different of trying to predict the trends, as you know, or trying to fill that white space. And so what we've
You
always
got a
done,
huge supply chain timeline to deal with.
Yeah, what I've like what we've always been successful. I mean, listen, there's so many different categories of a store, right? We all know that some categories are more competitive than others. I don't have to say it, but dildos, it's going to be super competitive. Everybody can make a dildo. Everybody can make a vibrator. Lubricants, as you know, consumables, cosmetics, super competitive. Um, and so, where does this white space exist in the market, in the retail market, in the adult market
Yeah,
these days?
when it's pretty
Uh,
saturated.
it's difficult, right? And so, I think that same fatigue that like the consumers, they just want what they see, right? They want what they see on
Because that's what
TikTok,
they
on
know for
Instagram.
the most part
Yeah,
too.
like, and so they're gonna come in asking for the lemon, and that's what it is. It's the new rose, right? Like last
Which,
year was
by
the
the way,
rose.
didn't accidentally go viral at all. I think some people might have this perception of like they got lucky on TikTok or whatever, and
Yeah,
it caused it. No, they paid
what like the
the
lemon?
lemon. Yeah, it wasn't an
No, I
accidental
know, and
viral. Like you can pay money to make that. Yeah.
I was trying to explain this to people in XBiz and when we were in Miami, um, and somebody had asked me the question. I said, like most of those sites where you read like these, the 100 best, like every single one of them, they're all just like paid advertising,
Hmm.
like where people are paying to be on these lists. And I said that company, like, yeah, they did. They basically, manufactured a viral sensation by paying to be on these lists, by getting it in the right hands of the right
Yeah, and the
people and the
right
right influencers,
influencers.
and
You
the right
pay to
influence. I
get
mean,
you pay to get in a certain part of the algorithm. Poof, done.
listen,
But it's
for
costly.
every lemon that succeeded, there's got to be 99 of them that failed, because everybody tries that same approach. You have the bigger mainstream companies trying to do it, the adult brands, the traditional brands trying to do it. You have the newer brands, the startups trying to do it, and so
Erica
yeah,
says
I
going viral is work. Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out.
yeah,
It's work.
yeah, yeah. I mean, so there's two different approaches, right? You can get that organic. You can just build it. It's very hard. It takes years to build a brand, as you know. It takes the marketing support behind it. It takes the marketing dollars.
Yeah, I was like, and a lot
Uh,
of dollars occasionally when you need the internet, right? It's top
yeah,
dollar to
yeah,
pay Google to put you on their first page.
yeah. I mean, and that whole thing is totally like even different, like the SEO and Google stuff. So like just dealing with the publishers and the lists, the 100 best, the 20 best anal plugs, like that whole side of the publishing, and those are all controlled by all the publishing houses that run the magazines and stuff like that. It's very, very that in itself is very competitive. I wouldn't recommend it. I've worked for companies who tried that route. I'm not going to name
You
names, but
don't spend
yeah,
money to
yeah,
spend if that's what you're going to do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's very, and so from a product development, I think everybody, I think what everybody forgets at the end of the day, number one, like the product's got to work. In our industry, it's just got to work. I think for penis owners, it's a little easier. Uh, it's a little easier when the item works because the penis owner finishes, they climax. There's no question or whether or not they were satisfied or not. They buy a toy. If it works and they can finish and they can climax, then it's a good product in their mind. Like that's how penis owners think. It's a little different. I think for everything else, I think everything else is so competitive. But at the end of the day, people forget that these items have to work, and so like everybody's looking for the next big thing and the next. But we're forgetting like the main thing is that it has to satisfy and it has to get the job done. And when people are spending their hard earned money on it, like the worst thing is just buying something and being disappointed, especially with a pleasure product. And
Yeah.
so I think what everybody's looking like to be so unique and so innovative. Sometimes, like I said before, sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just take a good concept and make it better. There used to be that old company in the 90s, BASF. It was like a 3M company. And their whole thing is we don't make the products you love, we make the products you love better. And they would make like the dye that goes into your jeans, or they would make the coating that sticks on the nonstick coating that goes on your kitchenware that you love. And so I think that like our approach or my approach, like to product development, has been the same kind of thing. Number one, solving a problem. If there's a problem or a an issue that and you can have a product that solves that problem or solves that issue, and this is where I get back to like the storytelling part. If if a buyer can relate, and I can say, hey, like, don't you like, you've never seen something that can do that, or this can do that, and you can see that aha moment, like you'll see their eyes light up. That's how you know that it's usually going to resonate with the consumers too. Because if a buyer, if it solved a problem or a concern or addressed something or did something a little bit better than something that's already out there, and usually if it means something, to the buyers, because that's who we're selling to, right? I'm selling to buyers out there. I'm not really selling to consumers, but I think our buyers that we deal with, they know enough. Like when they see something, they know that.
Yeah, they know it's working
They
in
know
their
whether,
stores and not
yeah,
based off
like,
of feedback.
yeah, they know it's going to work, and so yeah, I think that's kind of a little bit of the philosophy and
Yeah, I think that's
what's
like
worked for me and
there's
what's
some
been successful for me.
very wise words there. I did want to say Blanca finally made it, and she's giving us hugs. BTW.
Hi,
Thanks for
hi,
showing up,
Blanca.
Blanca. Just kidding. We love
Yeah,
you.
thanks already. Geez.
Do you think in some ways the consumers changed faster than the industry itself, or do you think the industry is pumping out trends for the consumers these days?
Yeah, no, I think again, I think it's more reactive in our industry. We see something that's popular in in another industry, and then try to just take our twist on it. For example, our Majestic collection at XR, like it's an extension of the Creature Cucks, right? We noticed that so many of these customers, the demographics, are the readers, the dreamers, the people that are going to the romantasy sections, like you said, the people that are opening bookstores just for this adult, this smut literature, right? This what we call it. I was in Target and I couldn't believe that I saw ACOTAR. I saw, A Court of Thorn and
Avatar's
Roses.
been in Target
Yeah,
forever.
I
You're
had no
tardy to
idea.
the
Like,
party, sir.
listen, I'm old. I told you I'm gonna be 49 in July. Like, so I'm an old
You
dude.
know, the sixth book is coming out in October, and we've been waiting, I don't know, 3 or 4 years for us to give us a new date of anything that she was going to write. It's a big deal.
Listen, I went down this whole rabbit hole, and I still haven't come back yet, and I'm still enjoying my journey down that rabbit hole.
Oh, enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
I'll send you more books. I'll send you more
Yeah,
things to read.
I can't say this for every company, but I know at XR, we definitely have our our fingers on the pulse of what's trending out there. We have an anime line. We have a
But
K-pop line.
you're the fantasy people in any way, right? Not that we all don't
Absolutely.
give a fantasy, but you're more visible
Ab-
on the fantasy. There we go. I speak.
Absolutely. We came up with a line called K-pop Idols, and yeah, like just taking advantage of the K-pop popularity. I couldn't believe that we actually got that trademarked, but we did, and so yeah, so now they're gonna be
Are we
items
gonna have Demon Hunter, K-pop Demon Hunter sort of feelings coming soon? That would make me happy. Get some Genu vibes out there.
you will never know what you see, and so
Oh my goodness!
I mean, listen,
My
yes.
non-product development team, I would love that.
I mean, I think that's kind of the fun that I've had since I've been at XR. Like the line is so broad. We have over 3,300 products, so many different categories, and like I could spend a year on just Master Series alone, and there's the subcategories within the Master Series. You have cock and ball torture. You have, urethral sounding. There's just there's your traditional BDSM. There's so many electrosex, e-stim, like so many subcategories within that we could just explore and have fun with, and make different stuff. And so I think I've had a lot of fun with that, and then basically tying the sales and the product development together. Making stuff, listening to the feedback from the salespeople, from our sales team. Like I said, we have 6, 7 salespeople. Everybody's on the road. They just came back from Spain. We had people come back from, domestic traveling.
Yeah, and then whatever your normal routes are. Yeah,
Miami. Yeah, and so like the answers, like I say, are in the stores, and you just have to go out there and listen more than anything. Listen to what everybody's asking for,
No, you brought
and
it up a
so
couple of
yeah,
times, and I think it's important just to reiterate that whatchamacallit, people are like, oh, you're a great salesperson or whatever it is. It's like, I don't actually think I'm a salesperson, because it's more like we're a problem solver at this point. Like, okay, why did it not fly off the shelves, or why did it fly off the shelves? Is the packaging hitting? Is the packaging not hitting? Right? Like it's less about sometimes I tell people I'm in sales and they automatically assume I'm like a used car salesman that's just got to get
yeah.
the yes, got to get the yes. So it's like, no, my job is to figure out what the problem was and then hopefully solve it for you.
I'll tell you my saying: prescription without diagnosis is malpractice in any business. Okay?
That's a good one. That
Right?
is
So
really
like,
good. We need to.
if I'm a doctor, I'm not gonna. You come in my office, I'm not gonna sit there and write you a prescription without without listening to what your symptoms are. And so that's really the same in sales. Like a lot of people think sales is just talking, which yeah, we're all good at. We can all talk, obviously.
We have to use our little brain sometimes too when we talk.
Yeah, but no. The key to sales and everything we do is sales. The key to sales is listening. And with art, it's funny you brought that up because in packaging, that's what art is. Art is communication, right? We are communicating what we're trying to sell on that box, that story we're trying to tell.
An experience, a feeling.
What
marketing
we're
is
selling.
emotional. Yeah.
Exactly, 100%. And so that's kind of like there's a lot of psychology and a lot of sociology going on in what we're doing over here, but we try to make it
know it or not. Power.
And at the end of the day, everybody thinks we're just pumping out sex toys, but no, there is a lot of thought that goes into it.
No, everything here is a legitimate business, and I know sometimes people still have a narrative they need to get over, but like, no, we still have to talk about profit margin and timelines and packaging and numbers and whatever else. Like, it's not it's the widget.
Luckily at XR we have a whole supply chain team that deals with that, and so from the sales side of it, we don't have to deal with that part.
But your business still has to function as a whole business. That's kind of what I'm saying. Absolutely. Sometimes people think we can like run everything on a Post-it. It's like, no.
And especially like with this larger furniture stuff, like all the big stuff.
I know. I wish you could are you on a laptop? I'm like, oh, you should take us around and show us things. But I don't know. Can you? Okay.
I can.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, I can kind of move it around.
Yeah, what a beautiful showroom.
There's a dance pole on one side. Then the other side across from my table here is all the creature cocks and that side. And then we have a sex doll. Everything's breaking here. So, all right, back to me.
The show is about you.
360. You like that?
I loved it. All
right, let's talk. What else do we want to talk about?
So I just want your take on, do you think consumers are more educated now? That kind of, we had this like, I'll just call it like early 2000s kind of sexual wellness bump, or are they just now overwhelmed?
I think, no, they're definitely more educated as far as materials. Listen, everything as a whole is just way more acceptable now, right? Even than 5 years ago, the amount of TV shows, the amount of media that's out there, just the amount of mainstream coverage, it's really unprecedented, right? So I think the level of exposure, at least to toys, like in movies and everything, I think the 9 out of 10 people, they say like 90% of people buy their first sex toy at Spencer's, and then they buy their second one from your adult store. And so I think it's totally different than even from 10 years ago. I mean, if you go into Spencer's nowadays, like there's like almost 400, 500 items in every single mall, 750 malls across America and Canada. That's what people like when people think, oh, like they're so against like mainstream. That's just opening the door, and that's just making it so much more.
It's already happening, right?
Yeah, like
it's already at CVS and Walmart now
these
too.
These 16-year-olds, these like the 17, they're gonna buy the stuff anyways, and so they're buying it now. So I think there's the users are they're coming at it even earlier, so they're getting exposed to this at an earlier age. And so, yes, they're more knowledgeable, material wise. I think like they're more knowledgeable about that. What they're not so knowledgeable about is just really is how to use everything, right? And that's where the training, and that's where we work with the retailers. Yes, they're accepting the industry. Yes, they've made this decision that they want pleasure in their life, or that they need this, that this part of their well-being needs some attention, and so they've made that decision. But they still don't know how to use, or what everything's for, and so I think that's where the education comes in. And listen, we get them in the stores first, and then do things to keep them coming back in every month to see what's new.
Right. That I feel like that's been the hard part, at least in my conversations
That's
with
the challenge.
other buyers and retailers, is how can we help get the foot traffic back in? And add in all the other hurdles people have with, like, sure, we can use social media, but also we can't always. And things that traditionally work in other industries where you can just like start a campaign doesn't necessarily work for our category.
Yeah, luckily with our creatures, we've been able to use that, and I can't take total credit for it because somebody before me kind of started the program. But we have a program called our Feature Creature program, our featured creatures, and so every month we come out with 4 to 6 new featured creatures, and we basically work with the retailers, work with the stores. I can train you guys. I can tell you about all the stuff in the world, right? I can tell you about the vibrators. I can tell you what it does. I can tell you what it's going to do.
Blanca wants you to tell her the story behind the throne. Just saying.
No. But the one thing I can't do is to get those customers coming into the stores, right? And so what that featured creature program does is these are the collectors. Like I said, these are people that are collecting the items because that's the genre, that's the demographic. They're not necessarily using them. Some of them just have these weird looking monster things on their desk, or for whatever reason. So, yeah, in their bookshelves. And so they're gonna come back every month to see what's new. And so if you can do programs like that to get that traffic back in there. Like I said, we're lucky with that line because the line is so collectible, and that's kind of the marketing angle we've taken with it. But it's easy to run programs and run marketing campaigns around that to keep them coming back. So it's been very successful. We're getting a lot of big retail chains involved with it. It kind of matches whatever we have on our website. So like we give you guys the graphics, we give the stores everything. They can even print in-store material, even sandwich boards on the sidewalk, like whatever they want to just get foot traffic in there.
What's going to work for their store in their region.
Yeah. And so, like I said, it doesn't always work with every line or every collection, but some of them do it. For the bondage stuff and the master stuff, like we do, shibari classes, and we do trainings and stuff like that, where we send it and we can do events. And so anytime that we can do like to try and to bring traffic in the stores, yes, that's like we do whatever we can to help out with that.
I think
aside from product.
Aside from the basics, where you don't have shitty product, right? You good product. You product that has a market.
What's all this chat going on here? Are we missing anything? Am I missing any good? Am I missing any good tea?
Here we go. Well, so Blanca says, as a parent of young adults, she totally encourages a beginner line with realistic expectations and some education, right? Which makes sense. And we're seeing a lot of that trend. Maybe in one of the places she was previously employed at, right? Where it's like some things that are a little bit, the lemon doesn't look like a sex toy at all. The rose didn't look like a sex toy at all. And I think that was a big reason why it is still doing as well as it's doing, because whatever narration or bias that's in someone's head, it's easier to get to that next level if you have something that felt more approachable to you.
Can I flip the script and ask you a question?
Absolutely, sure.
I mean, so
let's do it. I feel like it's the first time ever. This is fun.
Yeah, well, no, because listen, with your involvement with the illumination line, I just want to know your thoughts on all of these issues that you put in the questions for me. I know I'm just curious to hear your take on it, because you're dealing with all the same pressure. The pressure.
No, exactly. That's why I'm reaching out for feedback. my
Yeah,
my
like the
my
tendon
customers
fatigue.
need more foot traffic. They need more education. They need more support.
Yeah.
But there's only one
What's your
me, and we
what's your
don't have a
take on
huge marketing budget.
yeah, what's your take after your first foray into the pleasure side of things? Uh, just in general, what are you seeing?
I'm seeing
Um,
that the cycles are longer, right? Sell-through cycles are longer. I felt like I used to be able to, and granted, it was a different time and liquids, right? I feel like I used to be able to track like a 3-month cycle as far as like, here's the new items you're bringing in. And then it was launched and, all the training and the education and whatever that needed to go through that. And then the reorder would happen, 3 months later.
yeah,
And my cycle's even gotten longer when it comes to condoms. That used to be shorter because right, they're one-time use. You need to be replacing them all the time. And that's why I'm always asking everybody is like, does education still help drive sales? Because it's so important. But then I know companies are struggling with staff turnover, and then now we're going and re-educating the same people, or like it's expensive to have somebody trained, and then they're no longer on your team. So
yeah,
for me, I'm trying to balance the education information side with the like, okay, but like what's going to help everybody make some money here?
yeah,
So I don't have the answer either. This is why I'm just chit chatting into the ether.
yeah,
I don't know what the right thing is, and hopefully we'll see the light at the end of the tunnel at some point. But one of the consistent things I hear from other stores that I talk to and other people in the space is that the foot traffic is down, and
yeah,
the market has continued to be soft. And now let's
yeah.
throw a whole bunch of what is it? The SB, I think it's 1007 here in North Carolina, for example. An extra 10% tax on just selling anything obscene, but
Oh wow,
it doesn't separate.
that just passed.
Yeah, but it's still got it because it's not clear, so it's going to
Yeah,
go back through. But yeah, the big thing is like, well, if I am an adult store and I'm only selling to adults, do I also have to have this additional whatever tariff, so to speak, because that is my market? And then, yeah, are you coming after mainstream then too? Question mark, right? When something's already, a privilege to have, it's not food, shelter, water, where we're all
yeah,
focusing right now because gas is $800 and, we're
yeah. I mean, I think
not a political show, but there's stuff that is affecting people's everyday
yeah,
lives.
all that stuff is not unique to me or my story, so I won't even go there because you guys are we're all dealing with that. So
Right. I did
yeah,
want to ask you though,
I
and you can ask me too, but do you think in all of this, I'm seeing a lot of me personally, merchandising has improved. And I don't know if that's because there's
yeah,
more
and
time on the
yeah,
floor now.
I want to yeah, I think two things. I wanted to comment too. I think what all this competition has also done, and this is a big key, as you've seen. And you talked about like trend fatigue and like everybody's out trying to get this, like trying to make the new thing, right? And the pressure to try to one up or to try to come out with a release, that home run release. And like I said, you guys did it with Illumination, like, but for every Illumination, there's probably 10 different brands that did not like have a successful
Yeah.
launch like that.
Yeah.
And right, it's just the failure. It just happens, right? It's
What is that
because
saying where there's no more unique ideas, just unique people that will do it kind of question, whatever that
it's
saying
true.
is.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think what all of this and the biggest difference I've seen is that the factories have been forced to really step up their game in China. And this started like back with the phthalate craze, in the early 2000s, and when there was all this debate about phthalates and what they are, and like there was all
Or
this message.
just also like, hey, let's demand body safe products
Well,
because
there was just so much miseducation at the time. Like phthalates have been in every single thing that we've used. Like they're in the plastic buttons that are on your clothing. They're in the saran wrap that your meat is packaged in, and this. I mean, like phthalates have been around, but yet, like at the time in Europe, they were doing studies on baby pacifiers, and they noticed that like PVC, like we all knew this. Like back in the days, we would make these vibrators. You'd pull out a vibrator out of the box,
they
and like the
smell and they'd be
smell,
sweaty.
leaching, the leaching, the
The
smell, like
off-gassing went on for a
the
long time.
plasticizers. Yeah. Like, yeah, there was some serious chemicals, serious plasticizers that were added to make a hard plastic soft. Basically, that's all that these chemicals were to do. They were taking a hard plastic and they were making it soft enough to be able to make it like a rubberized plastic, right? And so there was all this miseducation where people were like, oh, phthalates, phthalates. And so I think our industry, because there is no regulation, there is no we're not regulated by any kind of governing body. There is no FDA. There is no regulations.
No.
Um,
I think that's important to shout out there because it's not like people are doing anything outside of quote unquote the norm because there is no. I think it's just been 2 years ago. There's been an ISO standard, which doesn't have much to do with America, but it's that was the first standard for anything.
Well, there's always been standard. There's always been like ISO standards. There's been ISO 9000, and there's always been manufacturing standards. And so as a manufacturer, you don't want to work with a factory that wasn't certified, that didn't have that insurance, that didn't have the certifications, that didn't have the document, right? Because something happens to that factory or something happens to the products that they make.
There wasn't one that was for a vibrating sex toy. Yeah.
Still to this day, it's an unregulated industry. And, I knock on wood, like a lot of the things that we're able to get away with, it helps. But because of that, it also just allows people to make whatever they want to make. It allows, China to do what they do. There is no regulations in it. So I think that's the challenges. What all of this forced the factories to do back then, when so many people started saying, oh my God, like what is these materials being used? Obviously, like the consumers, like you said, consumers realized, oh my God, what is this stuff that we're putting in our bodies? And it forced all of the factories to really pay attention to the materials, to just the quality.
To do better.
I think, to do better. Like before they were using, we always used to say like recycled used car tires. Like half of the vibrators, some factories, like honestly, like back in the days when I would go out to Shenzhen in China and, would spend two weeks there at a time. Like some of these factories that we used to walk into, like you had no idea, like you wouldn't believe the kind of shit. And then, to know that like eventually
that's all that was out there. People wouldn't make sex toys either.
That's what it was. And so now I think with the acceptance and the education, all of this stuff, it's forced everybody on the manufacturing side. The consumers expect more, they demand more, and now the factories are all keeping those standards up. So they're kind of policing themselves. Because all of the manufacturers, all the U.S. manufacturers, we all got together and said, like, listen, we can't continue to sell this stuff. Like, you guys aren't going to have any business. And, like the sex toy industry in China will end if you guys don't clean everything up. And this was, again, 15 years ago. So now I think the standards, we're having different conversations.
We seem to have some loyalties to some companies now, but that wouldn't even exist if you guys hadn't done the tour 15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean like just that whole getting the materials up and even to this day PVC is like kind of a bad word. Even the PVC that's made now, it's probably safer and more hygienic than some of the silicone that's out there. So there's some retailers like, we can't hear that word PVC. Like even the PVC that's being manufactured now, it's so much better than that old leachy, smelly, stinky. Like honestly, like my first vibrator, I like that word,
the leachy ones. No, and my husband Ryan, he used to work for Fascinations, and I remember part of his like duty was you needed to air out the dongs.
The old jelly dongs,
you had to air out the dongs.
That was his job.
One of them on the nightly checklist because they were awful or whatever, right? You needed to clean the testers or air out the dongs.
I'm sure some of y'all on this call can relate to that. You've had to air out your dong section or your dildo section back in the days. But
off-gassing is a thing for any plastic.
yeah, everybody was doing it, and like I said, we were all from the same manufacturers, and then at the time there was silicone available, but it was just so expensive,
So expensive.
and
And
the price
silicone can go unregulated too.
the price difference back then was so high for the silicone stuff, and there was only one way they were making it. They were stamping all the silicone. There was no liquid silicone. There was no injection. It was just a very labor intensive material. Was very expensive, and yeah, I mean, companies made switch, and some companies did very well with that, and other companies, continue to make different materials and still do that.
Yeah, which is everything that you said is still happening today for
Yeah,
a lot of the manufacturers, right? It's they're playing in between the same four in China.
yeah, it's tough, and that's why I think so much of our business is the marketing side, um, and how you spin or how you present.
Right. What's the brand? What's the story? Who
Yeah,
who
these same items. At least for what we do, it may be a little different, in the cosmetics, but um,
well,
yeah,
and lubes and condoms, you got a whole other FDA situation. That's
yeah,
not this.
yeah,
It's not this
yeah. No,
show,
we
but
talked
that's
about
the
that
fun
last
stuff.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we did. Oh my God, it's already almost been an hour and I don't even know how that happened. I feel like I only asked you 3 questions, but this has been great. Do you want to do some quick rapid fires and then we'll wrap up and you can do your shameless plugs and let everybody know how to get to you and how awesome XR is?
Whatever you want. I don't have any shameless plugs. Yeah, you guys all know. You guys all know where to find me.
Blanca says it totally is. Storytelling is definitely the biggest selling point at the moment. Yeah, like why? I'm on a wall in a store. I see a lot of different colors and options. Why this one, right? And that was a big part of story in the illumination. Is like we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here.
Yeah,
The top people in the wands and the rabbits, they're doing that, and we're not priced there. We're taking something that works and we're putting a little spin on it. We're definitely for the customers that are into their Spotify playlist. It's for the customization.
yeah. I think so much of what we do is that, and I think that's a lot where the companies that have been successful and that have evolved, uh, the ones that have done that better than some that have done it better than others. Those are the ones that are successful.
Uh, Blanca says today's consumer is definitely is interested in knowing the who, the what, and the why. I think she means the who, the what, the where, and the why of a brand. They tend to actually shop a bit more where they feel they align kind of in that brand strategy, which I totally understand, right? Like in the cosmetic world, I'm a Bare Minerals person all the way because I have always liked their story. And I remember watching Leslie on the QVC and just their
Yeah,
whole apothecary theme. And they've got a customer for life because I know their story and I like that. Right. It doesn't mean everybody else isn't doing the same thing or making something similar, but I know that
yeah,
story and now I have brand loyalty.
yeah.
The voice
And
to text. Yes, Blanca.
yeah, I think every company has like that story, and I think what we do at XR is do that within the brands, and then take that, where even the brands within XR as the umbrella, even the brands within it, each fill a different niche or fill a different void
Yeah,
or
right.
tell a
Each sort of series or line has a
yeah,
different part of
yeah.
the
And when
story
you're a full
for
line
your journey.
when you're a full line manufacturer, and that's the thing I want to stress earlier too that I didn't get a chance to talk about. It's just newness is the name of the game, right? And so many of these, I see so many of these other companies, and I see we do these events together. I see a lot of companies that are showing the same thing like 6 months later at another show as they were at the previous show, right? And so the consumers are coming back to see what's new, and so manufacturers, you know, that's it. It's what differentiates. So what separates XR from a lot of the other manufacturers. No matter what, every single week we come out with like 5 to 10 new products a week.
It's a
And I
lot to
know that
manage.
sounds
If
overwhelming.
people,
I
yeah,
know that
if
sounds
people don't know what
overwhelming.
that management
And
looks
like
like, it's
the
insane.
distributors are like, stop, Rob, and the retailers like, stop, Rob. I don't want to hear that. Like, where are we supposed to put it all? The beauty of it is that we have so many different categories, so many different genres that, yeah, we don't expect everything to be for everybody. It's
But it's a
knowing that,
great reason for me to keep reaching out for a talking point because
yeah,
maybe it's not that line,
yeah,
but maybe you need help with
yeah.
something else.
because the one thing, like the one thing that I can just always know is that no matter what, each week there's going to be something new that you maybe haven't seen before. And like I said, not a lot of manufacturers can say that, and you'll be surprised. There's a lot of retailers, there's a lot of customers out there who are willing to take a chance just because if it's new to them, it's going to be new to their customers as well. And so they'll try something out, give it a try, see if it works. But for us, like, newness is the name of the game.
Newness is the key. Blanca also says, coming from lingerie, she totally gets it. It was kind of difficult for her to go into toys and seeing that there was only a product drop every 6 to 9 months versus lingerie is so seasonal. Yeah. We're talking like 3 weeks seasonal. Yeah.
And most of us, most of the manufacturers, we were always on like the Amni release schedule. And so like we would do 2 releases a year, January and July. And then there were a few other companies that came along and said, why don't we get back to like a video release schedule? And my good friends, I won't say who they are, but like they started doing like weekly releases, and like not a lot of adult companies were doing that. And that was an old video thing where every Tuesday, day and date release, you just know that these videos are coming out.
It's like books. And there's a new book coming out every Tuesday, or how records used to be.
And so, yeah, without giving away too many of our secret sauce here of what makes us successful, I mean, it's been a huge thing at XR to just know that every week there's going to be new stuff. And it's just a machine. We have a whole creative department and a whole creative team that's just nonstop cranking out newness. And, like I said, they're not all home runs. We get a whole lot of singles, few doubles here and there, maybe a triple once in a while, and then, that occasional home run. But a whole lot of singles, we'll take that any day.
No, and that's not everybody can run with that sort of strategy, but that's what XR has built, right? You mentioned the machine, right? You have the privilege now of being able to show.
And who's that?
Do that for your store. The kids are coming home, and now that dog.
Who's that talking in the background?
Sorry, everybody. I have 4 dogs and a large family. Okay, so I'm just going to give you the floor one more minute, and we'll wrap up. Just huge thank you for coming today. It was a Monday special to a Tuesday. I love unpacking everything that we get to talk about in the industry. And then you somehow still stay positive about it, right? Like, what's going on, but you're also like grounded in it. You're just kind of like, hey, how can I help? The wheel will continue to turn. Would you like to leave the audience with any last words of wisdom, or hey, if they need to get a hold of you, find you on this Facebook, or go to xr.com?
Yeah, I'm not a social media guy. Yeah, you guys can definitely reach me. No, I want to thank you again, Tori, for having me. You guys can reach me at robp@xrllc.com. So yeah, shoot me an email. Like I said, we'll set up a visit, go see your stores, see you at a show, see you around. I appreciate everybody for taking the time out of your day to come join us and listen to us talk about nothing. And yes, again, thank you, Tori, for having me.
Well, thank you for being part of my therapy, right? It's hard to stay connected when we have to manage budgets and time and multiple hats, right? So I appreciate you coming and spending time with everybody.
You're doing a fantastic job. So.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so if you guys missed the Love Fest, that was me and Rob talking about whatever the hell we wanted to. It was really great. There's a lot of good. I'm going to go back. There's a lot of good Robisms in there, little quotes. We should make T-shirts. Just so we can keep carrying the banner.
I gave you this offer last time I was on the show. I told you I could do this, we can make it a regular thing, the Rob and Tori show.
I mean,
it can be Tuesdays with Tori and Rob. I don't know.
Gotta figure something out. There's got to be. I mean, hey, I'm up for things. We gotta expand.
Rob's roundup every Tuesday. I don't know.
Something, right? Like, hey, what's you're like what's the industry with the pulse, right? Like, what's happening?
Rob's wrap up report.
The
Rob report. Hey,
the Rob report.
Maybe somebody already did that.
Preacher report. I don't know. Is there a Rob report? We're gonna find out. If you missed anything, it's going to be, there's a Rob report. Okay. It'll be here. It's going to just automatically live post on the YouTube, which is at Tuesdays with Tori. And then it should be on my Facebook and the industry Facebook page, but I don't know if it lets the whole episode go in there. So if you need help, just do the DMs, right? Do that DM thing. Things make it to me. Things make it to Rob. bring your questions, bring your insight. If this inspired you a little bit, or you just wanted to be like, oh my God, look at these crazy people, please, I ask you to share it. And we're keep doing the thing. I'll see you all next Tuesday.